Welcome to the final day of cross-division play here at Pro League before we go to London in a month. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined on the desk by Nameless, Pac-Man, and Study. Now, I want to get right into that 100T Gen.G match we saw yesterday. Pac, what were your impressions of that?
It was a slasher for me. He came out just super high yesterday, the best series we've seen from him so far. They won both hardpoints against a team that's really good at hardpoints. So if 100 Thieves comes out firing like that in all cylinders today against Optic, I just don't know. That was a super impressive match for me out of 100 Thieves after losing the day before to Midnight.
Just watching Slasher yesterday, he ended up in that series with a 1.78. That's absolutely dominant. It's something you honestly don't expect. And keep in mind, even on that fourth map, Priest was 42 and 26, but we're still talking about Slasher here because that guy was an absolute unit yesterday.
He was plus 52 in the series.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't know. I want to know what's like the best performance in Pro League. That has to be up there. It has to be in like top 3 best individual performances. Yeah, across a single series, it has to be.
Wait, I probably went in the across the series. I had a 4.4 versus FaZe.
Well, I'm talking about this year.
It's all good.
Not years ago.
Individual series. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I mean, it was certainly, again, that will actually be our last match of the day. We don't want to talk about it too much right now, but it will be 100T and Optic, and I think if we can see that kind of performance out of Slasher, it'll be extremely competitive. But I do want to talk about Optic. Again, Nameless, it was another Game 5, but they did get the win.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like, Dash played amazing in that Game 5. For me, it was just all his sniper, just getting all those picks. But I want to see if they can finally fix their control. They've had a few days to do it. Obviously, Karma was their player who was underperforming in the first 2 days. And, you know, they tried to play a different map yesterday, played Seaside, and I thought they'd be able to run away with it. Karma had a great map as well, but there was just, you know, a swing point in the game where they just weren't able to run away with it. But we'll see if they improve today. I think Control, if they're able to win those, they're winning 3-1. It's a lot easier series.
It was so weird just watching, like, just looking at the stats from yesterday and just realizing Dashy wasn't on top for once. Just watching, I was looking at the stats, and Krim was leading his team when it came to slaying. Even in the S&D, he was 11-1, just putting on a show. We saw Karma even using nade spots and stuff like that on this map. You could just tell he was getting really used to his specialist, and that's just honestly unreal.
That snipe, by the way, I just have to say, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
He hit him through a door?
No, it makes no sense.
It's a glass door.
It had to be an accident.
It's a glass door, man.
It makes no sense. He didn't even see him. He just shot at the vent, like below a vent, and got a kill. I was mind blown seeing that snipe.
I mean, he had a couple snipes in that series that were just like, come again?
Yeah. Like
one more time.
Like most of the snipes are like, wow, like his reaction time is just next level. But that one was, I've never seen anybody hit snipes like that, like in a game. I seriously though, turning a corner, randomly blind firing, killing that guy, that had to be luck. I refuse to believe it was anything but luck.
All right, let's bring up our London pools again. We've been saying it over and over and over, but today is the last day. So by the time, Pac, today is done, we will know how things settle for London seeding.
Yeah, these guys just got to come through and win today. And we'll see how the pools shape up. There's gonna be a lot of weird pools for sure because a lot of good teams, Splice, Luminosity, they're in the middle of the pack. We don't even know what's going to happen to the Rev Reserve team.
Right.
All these good teams are in the middle of the pack, so it's going to make for some really tough pools.
Team for me is Midnight. Just overall, we talk about that they were just going to be dropping in this.
Yeah, that's what we were going to say. We expected them to be much lower.
7-3 on a 2-win spree. It's just something you don't really expect, but it's a whole bunch of veteran players. You know, you got leadership out of Parasite and Saints. Main Slayers have always been in the Pro League throughout the years, and I'm happy they're performing.
Okay, so I want to move on. Our first match of the day is going to be Enigma6 versus Gen.G. And right off the bat, I just want to know, coming into today, what we saw from Gen.G yesterday, what are you thinking about how they're going to perform?
All right, so obviously, like, they lose some hard points yesterday, and they don't look that great. But Sasha had an incredible performance, and, you know, you're not going to just dominate every team you play in hardpoint. So, I mean, I think I could chalk that one up for Gen.G. But going into this series, they're such a good hardpoint team, and then even in Search and Destroy, it seems like they've improved from Fort Worth, and it's just a tough matchup for E6. Like, E6 hasn't won a hardpoint with this new roster here yet, and you know, going up against the best hardpoint team from Fort Worth, I think that the odds are extremely stacked against them, and I think Gen.G should handedly beat this team.
But we've seen the underdog win so far this week, and so that's why, Study, I want to know, E6 does struggle in hardpoint, but what do you think they can do to be competitive in this series?
Well, definitely they need to win the map too for me, because you know they're like 8-1 in control, as you can see right here. Just overall, it's their best game mode. So if they can, obviously they haven't won a single hardpoint. They're 0-6 in cross division.
So just chalk that.
Just chalk it at that point, unless you're just going to come in with a different kind of mentality or just like a totally different mindset of how you're going to play it. But overall, it definitely comes down to that game two for me. If they're able to pull that out, they're pretty much going to guarantee the control. So it's going to be able to push to a game 5, and then we're actually super capable.
It's just going to be too difficult for a team like E6 to win 2 search and destroys against Gen.G.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do the 2-3-5 against some of the lesser teams, but Gen.G is also a powerhouse search team when they're on form. We've seen Havoc go like 15-1 and just dominate a game. So it's going to take a miracle in this series. They have to steal a hard point. They're going to have to.
Stylistically, this is an extremely hard match for them. Just like you said, because of their problems in hardpoint, they need to guarantee those searches, but Gen.G's too good at search to do
12-0.
They have to win a hard point.
Yeah, they have to win a hard point, but I don't see them doing that versus Gen.G. They haven't had time to go fix their problems yet.
I mean, the only way could just be like a massive, you come in with a huge confidence boost, Nameless, and you're just like, we're going to do it today, finally, even though it's against Gen.G.
You just take that map 1, right? Like, if you can go in and somebody just takes over a game, you know Chino's capable of doing it. Just take that map 1, you get that confidence. That's really, a lot of Call of Duty comes down to confidence, and right now they feel like every game they're going into, they're starting down 0-1.
And as Benson loved to say, just don't lose. So if they can take that first map, we will see what happens. But on that note, our casters are ready for our first match of the day, Ben and Chance.
No, Katie, you're absolutely right. Just don't lose. And you're at that point now where if you're E6, you really can't afford to take that many more losses, that's for sure. If you want to try and guarantee that top 4, there's still plenty of Call of Duty to go, but you want to at least get a little bit of momentum, and that's going to be tough against this Gen.G squad, Chance.
Yeah, and I think for seeding's sake, I think Gen.G, if they win, like secure first place, second overall, something like that, but they're going to be sitting at the top of the division. E6, not in a great spot right now, so again, confidence. They really need to start getting some wins under their belt because the top 6 placing, fantastic, phenomenal, you're feeling good. Then you start losing a bunch of series in the Pro League, you go back to the drawing boards, you get concerned, you don't win any hard points, you start to freak out a little bit. So yeah, a little bit of wins, a couple map wins, hard point here, series win there, and you're right back in the swing.
So I guess let's talk big picture for a moment. For Enigma6, there was hardpoint, right? Everyone can see that. But is there anything specifically that you've noted? Is it, players maybe not rotating in time? Is it maybe a little bit more in depth than that? Maybe not using the right weapons at the right time, not switching their classes? What is the problem with their hardpoint right now?
Well, I mean, in the past, I've seen them I've seen Frosty make some pretty big mistakes. I think we've cast over him for it, even on Gridlock map 1, where it's like right at the first hill, he's like pushing to get the wrong spawns, and you've seen some weird things from him, but lately that hasn't really been the case. They've just been getting bullied out. Like, they haven't necessarily been doing much wrong, just not getting the kills. Other teams just taking them to the slaughterhouse out back, and they just all need to pick it up a little bit. Like, just as a team, they're not quite there. In hardpoint, of course, their respawn's not too shabby, so that's why I don't think it's a slang issue, because their control has been phenomenal. So just need to work out the kinks, go back to the drawing board, and honestly, against Gen.G, map number 1 would be the best place to start, because the Gen.G special is always to lose first map.
Yeah, this definitely is. The one saving grace E6 do have is their control. It has been impressive at times, but game underway. Gridlock hardpoint, map number 1. We kick things off with Gen.G and E6, as you would expect, contesting heavily over the first hard point. 20 seconds gone. The score just at 2-1. Finally, E6 able to slay out. And they maybe get themselves a little bit of control here, but look at Envoy, the massive flank. He's gone all the way around the back, and this could cause some massive problems.
I was going to say, they're going to have no idea as well, because they actually had a player spawn in the back with them. He's got Havoc for a little bit of help, and he's able to stay alive. Havoc able to pick up a kill as well, and just like that, spawns are gone. By the way, Diabolic off spawn started at the 18, wrapped over towards Broken. Now is just having to double back to fight for the next hill. E6 obviously does great on the first hill nonetheless, but this fight is not going to be an easy one. A bunch of players in post and Nagafen just winning the gunfights.
That's what it's going to come down to, is the hill will rotate. Just a 9-point lead for Enigma6. They have early control, but they do not control the spawns. This Kismet pushing through 18. We'll have a couple of players to try and shut down, the first of which is Major Maniac. He connects with that. Nagafen there for the trade. And the pressure just should be too much here for E6. As Gen.G to lock in some big time here. It's going to come down to Diabolic over towards post. He loses that fight. Havoc with a double. Mox with 1. That just shows you, Chance, the importance of controlling the back spawns.
Yeah, and not even the back spawns. Like, you can do it from the front. I think we saw Red Reserve have a couple nice setups. You get the SOG player in post, SOG player in the 18, and ICRs looking down the mid and over the left side, and it seemed like E6 just a little bit late to those spots, and obviously a little bit late in COD makes a very big difference. And, well, final 15, if not more, going the way of Gen.G. The rotation in new. Well, E6 has a couple players inside. Another gunfight going down in the back. So a lot of one-on-one gunfights here that if either team starts winning them, well, they'll be set and ready for the next hill.
They will indeed. 50-27. Hill rotates to tree. And again, E6 are there early. Now the question, can they hold? They have Gen.G exactly where they want them, pushing All 5, no flanks that you have to worry about, but you still have to win the gunfights. And I mean, 2 players go down, no trades, 3 players go down. Finally, at least 1 trade, but at that point, everyone from E6 is dead. And Gen.G blessed to just walk straight into tree.
Not the best setup, I'll admit. E6 just 1 player falling after the other. Granted for them, Major Maniac does accidentally take out a teammate with a cluster, so returning to the hill should be easy for E6. Players, once again, maybe not in the best spots that they want, but pretty good nonetheless. You got a couple players in showers. Kismet just hanging out inside the hill. Kismet wins the first gunfight, does not have the ammo for the second, but even still, General's there, the cleanup crew. The final 10 seconds, and honestly, well, they're going to push for it, and they're going to get about 5, but E6, again, that free rotation next. They have had the rotation 1 3 times in a row now.
And the score doesn't look that way, 66-61. Gen.G breaking time and time again. This time, though, is it going to be a little bit different? The initial gunfight's already won by E6, so it's starting to milk at least a little bit of time. Grab Slam, of course, is available for Kismet if he wants to use it. Decides against it. Mark shuts him down. Forces E6 to flurry over towards the backside. Gen.G are pushing, and again, Gen.G been dealt with. Good first 30 seconds, but can you hold it for the next 30, make it a full 60? As well as that, a couple players now getting close towards some streaks. This is much, much better here from E6.
And you can honestly see why, right? We talk about them getting bullied out a little bit. Well, Kismet doesn't want to be bullied anymore. 15-8, has had a, well, fantastic game so far. Every single hill, he's been a pretty big factor. Largest lead of the game we've seen so far. And keep in mind, Kismet, because he's doing so well, already has the gravity slam. If he gets on top of the bus, well, everyone on the other side is going to die, but obviously a little ways away for that situation of Raze. But as it stands, 60-point lead for E6. Things going pretty great.
Would have been great if they were able to get a couple of streaks. It would have aided maybe a late rotation here to the first hill. It's not going to be the case, though. So that 50-point lead now well underway, and this is where Kismet going to try and make the play with a grab slam, jump straight through, only finds 1. Major Maniac drops Gen.G still in the hill. The follow-up just not there.
And you can actually, there's been a lot of hills on a bunch of different maps that it seems like grab slams do the typical thing, and teams have setups inside the hill to kind of like counter that.
Yep.
Like I even said, you go over the bus, you fly and get a kill, but you had Havoc that was so spread out in a far corner, you couldn't find him. Another guy pushed out on the other side of the bus. It seems like teams are very prepared for it. Like you talk about, you have to pull out flak jackets for the war machine. Well, you have to have different hills set up for the grab slam, and I think we've been seeing a lot of adjustments, and obviously that was an example of it there, but as it stands, Gen.G, despite the grab slam, do a pretty solid job on the first hill, and well, again, towards that rotation is second. Havoc now has a grab slam of his own.
This could be the time to maybe pull the trigger. Wait for your teammate's war machine to do at least a little bit of damage as he flies straight through. Not missing. That's all. So Mox makes his way towards 18, but it's Gen.G chance to ruin the hill.
Of course, you talk about how good of an AR Mox has been. I was going to say the Tempest might be there to shut him down because it kills a little bit quicker, but Mox takes it out on his own. The ICR good enough to get the job done. Now you got Envoy, everyone watching the front. You get the setup that Gen.G wants. Envoy's going to fall, but Nagafen or Mox or somebody's going to be quick to get inside the hill. Kismet, well, just by himself, wants to contest for a single second and then die. And well, his teammates are a little bit far behind, and these are just easy kills for Havoc to get. A little bit discombobulated for E6, and that means a lot of time the way, well, of Gen.G, plus the streaks that are coming in for Major Maniac.
And he could just stay in the hill here, earn himself the Hellstorm. Doesn't need to do anything crazy whatsoever. You still have Havoc with the grab slam as well. Do bear that in mind. That was not invested. The Hellstorm earned by Major Maniac. This is now where things look as if they could get a little scary for E6. A big turn in the tide, turn in the momentum. The 50-second deficit they had going into the second rotation of hills gone. Tied game as they try and break through as they did so effectively in the first rotation towards tree. Already the kills coming through, but it's E6 that holds strong thanks to General and Diabolic both picking up doubles. And E6 may actually be able to pick up a lot of time here.
Honestly, I think it might be worth a conversation of, do you want to use a streak on this hill? Well, if Major Maniac's going to walk through them, you might not need to, but the option is there, but they're just going to storm on through. The TAC 5, how much is it going to help? Couple kills going the way of Diabolic, but he just gets shredded. You still have 2 bodies in and around the hill, but kills going back and forth. Havoc gets traded by Kismet, and E6 on the tree hill once again survive, but they do not keep the back spawn, but they still have a, not a comfortable lead, but a solid one.
This, of course, the difference. We went to the final hill last rotation. E6 got a full 60 from it because of their fantastic setup. This time it's Gen.G, they're first to the party. The fight going on at the back, it's all won by Gen.G. Everyone from E6 falls, and they are spawning so far out. I'm going to traverse across the map. Gen.G, they're going to tie this game up probably very soon. I'd be surprised if E6 even break into this hill.
Of course, with the 2 streaks on board, you have to imagine they're going to have a free win over towards Nexus as well. So E6, the pressure's honestly on. That's why it's not a comfortable lead, because if it even gets tied up, you're expecting to go all the way over to the second hill down. But 30 seconds left here. Contest is in. Havoc, though, with the song. Free kill number 1. Chino, though, able to pick up 2. That means he's going to, well, eventually just fall and die because his teammates weren't there, but a couple seconds do get killed off the clock for Gen.G. They want to take one more crack at it. They're going to get nowhere. And while you can see the setup they have towards New, and while you can see what Major Maniac's going to do to them, call in the artillery, call in the Air Force, whatever you want, and just get them free and clear outside of the hill.
Should surely be a matter of moments. But he's holding onto it for quite some time. Finally decides to use the Hellstorm. Chino in the hill will fall. Now the hover, will it find anyone underpass? Yes, it will, but Major Maniac did fall throughout that, so I know they may have to worry about their backs. But Gen.G building the lead. Once again, inside the hill, they're going to be the first to the 200-point mark. E6 trailing, but Gen.G still inside. Kills, and they need them quickly. Still a lightning strike available for Major Maniac, but everything going wrong. E6 falling.
And that's actually insanely good awareness from Gen.G as well. They were so patient, sitting in the back of their spawn essentially at ult, because they were keeping track of where the players are coming from. They knew some were over towards Broken looking to flank, and that's why Max is literally in the back of the map just waiting for the kills to come through. Now, of course, they've already managed to flip towards Next already. They have a very sizable lead. They still have another streak if they want to use it. Plus Major Maniac gonna get a second War Machine. Nagafin sitting on the Tempest. Most importantly, you got the Vision Pulse, which makes it oh so easy. Chino, though, able to stay alive and get a kill just for a moment.
War Machine rattling over. That's coming from Chino, but Gen.G did a ton of damage, and well, there comes the lightning. Major Maniac will take down 3 players from E6, 1 teammate, still full control though. Frosty trying to set up a pinch, but the problem is time is of the essence. You have to go, and time is running out. That will be that. Gen.G may not have started off the best in the map, but they close it out in emphatic style, to be honest with you, Chance.
And again, it just seems like E6 in hardpoint, they just get bullied out. Like, there's been a lot of conversation about stats recently on different players to pay attention to. And in this game specifically, for the most part, I don't pay any attention to KD. I don't pay any attention to individual stats until they're extreme. So if you have a player going to have a godlike performance, then you got to give credit to that. They're playing like Slasher yesterday. You look at stats for that because that just evaluates how good he is. And in this game, Frosty, I think 8-23 is what he finished out. We'll be able to see the last minute to get an idea, but that's a level that, like, you have to pay attention to the stats at that point. It is just so far down there, and Diabolic, honestly, not too much higher at 12-21. So E6, again, it just seems like at times they can just get bullied out.
Definitely the case to close out map number 1. Of course, here a look at the final few moments. It was relatively simple from Gen.G. From the final hill of the second rotation, they locked down P1, then they also locked down the spawns for P2. The Vision Pulse helps, the Streak helps. They saved everything, all their extra utility for the perfect time, just to ensure they could put the final nail in the E6 coffin.
Just to hammer it home a little bit further, if you're going 7-23, not going to get the Vision Pulse. It's a little bit tougher to get. It's one of the harder ones to earn, and it just makes everything easier. On top of having lightning strikes that pretty much wipe out the entire team, including shutting down the War Machine. So any saving grace that E6 might have had, well, it simply did not last very long.
Well, Gen.G 1-0 up, and I know before the series, Jess was talking to Mox from Gen.G. What did he have to say, Jess?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, that's right. I did chat with Mox from Gen.G, and this is one of the situations where it was also about just kind of how he acted rather than just what he said. And he had a huge smile on his face the whole time he was talking to me. He was saying things like, oh, we're just so excited to be here. We're excited to end the week strong. And he said, honestly, we're a little bit sad because after today, we know we have a month-long break before London. But they are feeling really good about how they've been playing, where they're at, and they're just excited to finish off the week strong and head into London. Now, over on the other side, they are just not feeling quite as confident General is, once again, it was more about kind of his demeanor rather than just what he was saying. He wasn't feeling too talkative. He thinks that hardpoint has mainly been the problem. He says our S&D and our control have been pretty polished, but hardpoint is really the issue. We need to get a lot more consistency there. And, they haven't won a match yet, rather. He says they're hoping to come out strong here, but honestly, I would not describe his demeanor as optimistic. So that's all I've got. Ben and Chance, back over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jess. As it stands, Gen.G 1-0 up in the series. Now we head over towards the Search and Destroy, though. I feel there was an air of optimism, maybe a Gen.G special for the Gen.G fans out there. Oh, we can drop game number 1. It doesn't matter. But now you're 1-0 up. Are you worried about the rest of the map set now from a Gen.G fan perspective?
No, not at all. I mean, it's kind of an interesting conversation because they're still good at all of the other game modes outside of Hardpoint, but Hardpoint has definitely been the shining light. But you give them the first map, you're very confident in Gen.G for the series. But on the flip side, for E6, as pessimistic as you want to be, that's kind of the expectation. Like, if I was them coming into the series, I'd be like, okay, Gen.G was the best Hardpoint team back and forth, or if not the best, they were very top tier. So we're not expecting to win that one because Hardpoint's been a struggle. We're focusing on the 2-3-5, and, well, again, their control has been phenomenal, and their Search and Destroy has been topsy-turvy, good at times, bad at times, but the exact same thing can be said for Gen.G. So there's still a lot of potential for E6 in this series, but if you were betting money, definitely bet the house on Gen.G.
Okay, well, it could be hit and miss. Game 2, Search and Destroy Arsenal will be the map. Then Frequency Control, which was one where, if you remember, earlier on in the week, E6 versus Optic Gaming. E6 came out and just destroyed, for lack of a better word, Optic in that map. Seaside Hardpoint, if we do go to 4 in a gridlock search, if the game is destined to go to that Game 5. But Gen.G 1-0 up, heading into that search. Should feel confident and very comfortable, but to your point, E6, they're 2-3-5. That's where they're trying to get you. That's where they're trying to really steal the series.
Well, and if I remember correctly, the last time for Arsenal Search and Destroy that Gen.G was on this map, I think they 6-0 denial.
Okay.
So they felt confident at times. Again, Search and Destroy has not been their saving grace since they made the roster change, but this is a map that may be a little bit more comfortable on than others.
If you're 6-0 in denial, you should be a bit more than just comfortable. We'll see, though. As Game 2 goes off, just a small side note. After watching E6 play throughout the week, it's interesting to see how the coach Sender kind of responds to the players at the NSOD series. And it seems like the general consensus is just struggling to close out that kind of clutch factor, doing most of the decisions right, and then in those crunch times, just crumbling a little bit for E6 though. Trying to tie themselves up in this series, make it 1-1, at least extend it. But on the side of Gen.G, Major Maniac, sniper in hand.
Backing up very quickly, knows the pressure's coming in, but keep in mind, Gen.G does have a double flank right now. By the way, for everyone in a sniper battle, always jump. Because if you jump when you're about to take the shot, the other guy gets the hit marker. Frosty showing that off just a little bit, but bomb down, but so are quite a few players from E6. The double flank is in, the double kill from Havoc is in. Envoy's there too. Everyone's dead except Kismet. He should be quick to follow, and, well, Havoc's gonna get a bunch of kills and the defuse. How many points do you want? He'll take them all.
Yeah, he'll grab every last second he can as well towards Grab Slam, every point he can towards those streaks. A great first round from Gen.G. Really a dominant way to start off game number 2.
And it does help on occasion to watch the flank, because if you don't watch the flank, you finish rounds with people drawing smiley faces on the wall. And
it's a good smiley face, though.
It's a great smiley face. I mean, top tier, but you don't want artwork on the map. You want kills and to win the game rather than your opponents doing style visualizations. But again, the only guy watching the flank, the spot he was watching it from is to actually see the full cross, but I'm assuming got there late because Havoc did the full cross and they had no idea. So gotta be a little bit quicker with the timings, or at least be aware of when it's, well, Havoc might be behind you.
And just to bring up a conversation we had yesterday, we talked a little bit about, snipers and Search and Destroy, and we both kind of shared the same opinions of, sometimes there's a time to put it away, right? And that's the one thing I'm going to pay close attention to here with Frosty from E6, because a lot of the times he just kind of keeps that sniper out for the entire map. It doesn't necessarily always change.
I disagree. I think Frosty is one of the guys that can keep it out more often than not, and there has been times where situationally he puts it away to make good adjustments. I'm thinking back to the gridlock where on defense
I just don't think
they
he
had
does it
different
enough.
setups.
I just don't think he does it enough. He does it normally when other teams have like War Machine or they're specialists. He plays it around the specialists as opposed to necessarily playing around the fact that it's just not going well. facing coin.
I was about to say, you also might need to put it away if your teammates keep getting blooded and you find yourself in 3v5. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. Of course, you have to imagine Havoc is definitely creeping up on some streaks as well. Mox is going to fall, but Havoc's still alive. He's going to get the EKI there. And honestly, he might have gotten it for the second. I don't know if General healed in time. So Havoc is, if not one kill, a kill and a half off of some score streaks.
Cruising through Search and Destroy Arsenal in the first 2 rounds. Very dominant rounds thus far. This Major Maniac just slips straight through. Finds the second. We'll take a look at our score streak total and see just how close he is heading into round number 3. But so far, 2 rounds in, Chance hasn't been close at all.
If you want to stick with the sniper theme, of course, you got to be worried about the full flank, right? But it looks like E6 has at least make a strategical adjustment. They have the bomb leaning towards A, but everyone else is going towards B. A couple players from Gen.G mid-map, though. Well, it is just a lone man. General by himself. I don't know how much pressure he knows. He spotted at least one. Might have the information there, too, but he's going to get picked off by Mox. The middle of the map is now open. Your bomb is not where you want it to be right now, away from your teammates. And Chino, well, he takes one with him. And now the bomb is down, so E6 is like, oh, yeah, we gotta go pick that up.
It's a little tough because all the fights over towards B were won. Frosty with the ICR in hand this round. Just to touch on the conversation we had a few moments ago, but it's a 4v3, still advantage Gen.G. And that bomb being down is, I mean, it's tragic. It really is. That bomb could have been planted if he just had it over towards B. Oh, actually, no, Frosty did still have the sniper rifle. He picked up an ICR. So that just shows you.
And Mox was so concerned about the bomb being down, he just kind of ignored that open lane. Havoc getting either the best or worst timing. Don't even know how he snapped on the player. I guess he heard him mantle or something, but still not a lot of time on the clock. Gen.G, though, in a 2 versus 3. Envoy able to find a pick as well. The bomb should get planted. This is for streaks. The round win, the 1v2. He gets the first, and, well, you can use it to kill the second. Kismet might not be aware, but is close enough to the vents that he might be a little bit safe, but you could ping it to try to win the round. You have plenty of time to work with.
Kismet's a vent player, and that's why Havoc just wants to give a quick check, the ping. And now this is surely where the challenge will come through, but Kismet, he's a search and destroy mastermind at times. He's wrapped himself. Havoc left in no man's land with 18 seconds left. Player so far away, you're looking at almost a miraculous kill to come through. Is he going to get the timing? On with 8 seconds left? Absolutely not. Has to stay alive. The kill would be huge. But Kismet scurries away to the back of the map, and he actually may challenge himself. He spots Havoc, and is he going to get the kill just in the nick of time? No! Close, yet so far.
That's just a very confident play from Kismet. Knows he gets pinged, just flies around the entire map. He's thinking, if I got pinged out at dark, Havoc's going to go try to clear everything out to find me. I'll just be gone. I'll go rat mid. I'll take my time, do whatever I want, because I don't think Havoc's going to be anywhere near in time to hop it. And, well, it makes the confident and correct call. And honestly, it's a very good round for E6 to be able to get, because keep in mind, the bomb was down. Gen.G was very aware of it, had a man advantage, and ended up getting picked apart.
And their first round on the board, 2-1 still. Gen.G with the advantage. Havoc still on his streaks, bear in mind, and also very close to the Graf's line. Frosty defending A. Looking for the first pick. There it is. First blood. Major Maniac falls. Havoc will invest the lightning. Is Frosty going to get into vent in time? Yes. Barely by the skin of his teeth.
Just not queued up in time, and now a lot of pressure's coming in. You have a sniper. You're trying to slide for your life.
Hey.
Doesn't get caught, but is stunned out. Has the nade support from Chino. Has a little bit of coverage on the cross as well. And, well, Envoy tried to cross, and Chino caught him. Now these players are getting flanked. You're trapped. You're in. You use the lightning strike. You get nothing, including the streaks. I think Havoc got shut down before he got anything, and that is beyond best case scenario for E6.
No beanie today, by the way.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if you saw Chino yesterday tweeting out saying, all right, that's it, throwing it in the trash, don't want it anymore.
Oh, okay.
I doubt we'll be seeing the beanie again from Chino, despite its miraculous effects on the first day of the week. But a much better round there from Enigma6. They tie things up 2-2. And could potentially put themselves in the driver's seat in the search if they win this next round. 3 back-to-back. Havoc has earned Grab Slam, though. This could be a little bit of a problem. Kismet working towards some streaks of his own. That was really best-case scenario for E6. They burn the lightning, and they still managed to win the round. Frosty looking for first blood once again with the sniper. Instead, players from Gen.G just back away. Don't want any of that.
Of course, You can already see that grab slam in the making of players stack up, but you got a bunch of players with a thermal ICR. I feel like Gen.G just knows something we don't about the thermal, but Frosty knows how to hit his shots. You know how to double challenge for E6, but then Envoy, everyone has ICRs, is able to find one. Of course, Havoc's still working the flank, but you got a player watching it. I don't know what kind of timing he got, but Chino doesn't seem to be aware, so this might actually be the making. Free kill. Now you got a 3v3. He's going to go for the challenge and keep him on the grab slams there. His 2 teammates, though, need to start pushing up to the bomb because Havoc is getting hunted.
His timing looking like not the best. Teammates now surely should fall. 3v1. Challenge from General. He stays alive. Major Maniac, well, he's going to make his way off the map.
And as he goes to mysteriously die and radiation poisoning or whatever kills you outside of the map, there's just, I think, a lack of information from Gen.G, because you had 3 players going to hunt Havoc down, but they didn't have numbers. So Major Maniac doesn't go with Envoy over towards Bomb because they just didn't know if they were getting flanked. They didn't know what the situation was, but a nice round from E6 is what it pans out to be.
Ooh.
Some nice shots from Frosty. Again, I think he is one of the players that, like, I'm not mad at him when he keeps it out for too long because he is pretty filthy with it.
It was a good shot.
Was a good shot.
Very good shot indeed.
And again, you jump when you snipe, so the other guy gets a hit marker.
Makes sense as Frosty just get a little bit of extra pace over towards the A site. Meanwhile, though, on attack, it's Gen.G into assault B, and that is a pretty hefty nade, which General will escape. However, General must concede the bomb site. So potential for a quick plant here from Gen.G as Nagafen showing, all right, well, I got some spots too. Just peeks up, checks, nothing there. Bear in mind, Kismet 175 now. His first streak as the assault comes through. Chino there to stop it.
Just overwhelming pressure. Now you got Kismet.
Oh, you grab some
close.
streaks here.
No reason not to. If they get a little bit too close, your teammates call it out. You can't do it from the prone position, but you can sprint and then basically do it a half second later. So essentially you can do it from laying down, but you do have to be clean with the movement, but just waiting for players to get a little bit too aggressive and his teammates maybe to give them a call, but honestly, if they get too close, they're just going to get exploded. There's the guys that get exploded. There's full streaks for Kismet. Keep in mind, this game started out with Havoc getting streaks and them doing nothing with it, and since then, it has been nothing but E6. The last 2 guys fall by the hands of Chino. Beanie or no beanie, the man can beam.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can indeed, and that's what you see there. The double grab slam, helpful for Kismet, gives him the streaks, of course. After he got the EKIA earlier in the round, Chino to close things out with a double of his own. He tried to be slow, tried to be methodical, and Kismet was there to make him pay.
I can already feel the game 5, man. I can just feel it. I'm not wearing boots, but I feel it in my boots.
Okay. You wearing nice shoes today.
Thank you.
Are they new?
Ish.
Okay. Well, very nice. E6, 4-2 up, though. And now Kismet with streaks. And yeah, Kismet's just going to invest now. So straight up the rip. Maniac could be in trouble. Hello? Excuse me?
Oh, streaks have been terrible this game.
What?
It's not Kismet's fault.
Hold
I mean,
up.
it's sort of Kismet's fault, but
I mean, that's
exactly
not Kismet's fault. What on earth did I just see?
Well, players not on Earth include his teammates that he killed. He's also going to fall.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I never liked when people hellstorm and pop it right off the rip. I get it because it's like sort of heat seeking, but it does kill your teammates. I prefer like boost it down and then land it right on top. I mean, he's looking to try to get more kills off the rip, but like you have to go for Mike or Major Maniac anyway because the only one open. It's a small thing, but you talk about small things. You got a 1v1, Chino versus Envoy.
Well, this 1v1 develops another small thing to consider. Nagafen owns 6. Guys, next round, welcome to the agency. Chino with a War Machine and nade to use to his advantage here. Envoy, well, this round is done and dusted because that stun is surely going to connect. Tries his bet.
You forgot it with Chino, Ben! Oh. It's never over when it's Chino!
My God.
I mean, sometimes it's over, but not right there.
That is a massive win from Chino. That is a huge win for Chino. Stunned prone. Here's the Hellstorm. Look at that rogue one on the left. Oh, Lord.
It's just like when you pop it right off the start, it's like a big circle of rockets that go down. It just goes straight down.
Look at the reaction. Kismet's like, bruh.
My bad, guys. There's one back steps. I'll get him.
I mean,
They didn't even get him.
that doesn't matter. They win the round anyway, but now it's Nagafen on agency camp. Let's have a look. Will he find the first blood? Oh, little shy to the left. We'll get a second attempt, but I'm not sure he's going to get much more with Frosty on the other side. And, well, that's why. James Bond, welcome.
I can already hear the ring-did-a-ding-dings.
Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, we had to sing it, but that's just what I feel it.
Good. Advantage E6 to close it out. Mox retrieves bomb. So lightning available for Kismet if he wants to potentially drop it. Well, there's going to be the information. The ping called in.
Don't call it because you'll kill your teammates.
Threat. Just one in vent. And that's just beautiful. When you're controlling vent, you ping your lightning. You know the players are going to try and get inside. He knew one was going to be in towards vent. Tempest is out for general. This is where E6 close it out. War Machine out for Chino as well. It's a 3v2, so despite a lot of use, it's not over just yet. And Chino, 125 away from streaks, is now in a 1v2. Throws out the nade, beautiful play, tries to challenge the first player, may die to the nade. No, Chino does everything but can't find either kill. Lightning called in. That doesn't connect either. 2v2, 13 seconds left. General still with one shot left. His Tempest needs to be careful he doesn't get caught changing his weapon. But there's the down. Mox is dead. E6 level up the series. 1-1.
And then the toughest series to predict of all time, it's going to be E6 losing both hard points, but they're going to win the first search and destroy, and they're going to win the control. The question is, who wins that game number 5 then? That's all we have to do when we cast. Who wins the game 5?
I told you that before the game even began, chance. But as it stands, 1-1. It was Gen.G that took game 1 here in the first game of the day. E6 bounced back with a great search and destroy. Very dominant performance from them. But we'll be back after this with game 3, Control.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL. And Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
Good as new.
Got you.
Circle collapse imminent. You have a nice day.
My soldiers is ready to put a black house on them.
Play new content first on PS4.
PlayStation.
There are quick glance at Alcatraz, the new Blackout map. Chance, I know you've played it. What are your thoughts on it?
It was a lot of fun at first, and then it got really stressful, and then it got fun again. But like the very first game I had, I got a ton of kills, and then after that, I just panicking forever. Just people dropping on me constantly. But either way, talk about fun things. Well, Ben, we got frequency control.
Woo! 3-6 fans, at least. This was a map they looked fantastic at, and well, we'll see if they're able to replicate their success that they had against Optic Gaming here against Gen.G. So far, it looked as if it was going to be so good. Not going to be the case. Gen.G survived the initial A push, and they walk away with a 1 life advantage. And we'll need to be careful, though. The shot's coming his way. Hill is going to be contested. Here comes E6 once again. They find one opening. Now can they try and exploit a little bit more? Yes, they can. 3 players fall. Major Maniac does his best, but it's just simply not going to be enough.
Yeah, they try to pour in. One of the keys for E6 on this map, well, sometimes they split push, sometimes they spawn kill. It's what Frosty and Kismet are set up for, but they have clearance on the map to make sure the guys at A are safe. And of course, they don't need to cap it as quick as possible because, well, you need kills as well, so there's no rush. Couple players inside blue. Frosty's going to be looking for, well, Major Maniac's looking for him as well. Takes him down. Pretty close on the life advantage front. Only a single one for E6, and well, that's just negligible. And you talk about spawn kills. Gen.G, they can do it as well. Chino, though, in the back, has an ICR, so Envoy says, no thank you. I'll go away. Now you got spawn kills on the other side.
Yeah, spawn kills on spawn kills on spawn kills. Who will walk away with the kill advantage? Well, it's 18-19. It's finally Gen.G. A little bit of control over mid-map. They clean out their base and look forward and onwards. Someone's trying to defend a E6 attack. E6 was able to get 2. Envoy with 2 of his own, though, so that's going to slow things down drastically. But still plenty of time, Chance. Minute and a half on the clock.
It's honestly like 2 different games that like Gen.G is playing. Mox is just a solo man on one side of the map. His entire team is on the other, but it looks like everyone's going to start falling. You try to throw the nade, which you get it off, and it's going to slow a player down, if not kill them. And Nagafen, well, he's able to find General as well. So off the back of the nade, helping out a little bit, slows and eventually stops the push. Nagafen at least is going to get traded with the help from Mox. And now the original role Mox had was to watch this U, and that's exactly where E6 is trying to flank around from. And you can see why they're flanking, because they're all dying. You can't go one way, you try to go the other, you get cut down. Gen.G making the split push reads, going for the spawn kills, trapped in your base is E6. And of course, even though they're finally able to break free, they find themselves in a 4v9. And well, they can't even group up together because Nagafen's trying to spawn kill him once again.
Damage definitely done. Require a miraculous play from E6, and well, you're not going to see it. 9v1, Diabolic. Have fun. Everyone from Gen.G flying towards him, so we don't get the same dominant E6 we had earlier on in the week. Maybe it's just a better opponent in the sense of Gen.G.
It's worth pointing out, it wasn't a one and done necessarily for E6. They are good at this map, don't get me wrong, but it's not like every single time they play it, they get a 3-0. Right. They've taken a couple losses as well. So Gen.G, honestly, about the same as well on this map. It should be expected for them to go toe-to-toe. But where E6 thrived against Optic was the split push. It makes it chaotic. It makes it confusing. You have to make the right calls, and well, Gen.G did. They always had a guy watching the full flank. They always had guys trying to spawn kill. On defense, they had a ton of map pressure and control, so they found success.
Yes, they did. Now, Kismet straight on in, and a bit of a trade-off early on, but it's Gen.G winning the majority of the fights, and Kismet left out to dry. Envoy picks him up mid-map, and they're going to go for the split push. Love this. Envoy, Major Maniac going to put pressure over towards B, while 3 players put pressure over towards A. E6 off spawn. What's the game plan? What are you going to try and defend? It looks as if B, the first line of defense, as Major Maniac caught, as is Frosty. So B will be decapped, but all that time, A surely gone.
Might be one more attempt. You got Kismet that's trying to go for some kills, but Mox actually is just reading it in his own spawn. So yeah, A zone capped with not too much loss. Of course, they did not get the tick over towards B, but either way, they got 2 minutes and 12 seconds to make it happen. Of course, you already got players over there. Diabolic eventually gets hunted down. 2 kills going the way of Gen.G. They got Frosty set up, but you got the entire team of Gen.G trying to swarm. And, well, Mox has Outer working with Nagafen. They got all their bases covered, including the kills going their way. Maybe the guy mid-map can cause problems because everyone else is dying. Well, including the guy mid-map. 5 men dead for E6. They have fallen. And a big problem for them, if you can't win the control, that hard point's going to be a struggle. And this is looking like an amazing spot for Gen.G to be in. They got full streaks on one guy. They got TAC 5 pop because they're getting their specialist oh so fast. The 2-0 lead for Gen.G, and Ben, that's about, what, 3 minutes off the clock?
I was literally about to say, Game 3's been quick.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be even quicker because there's a lot of streaks now for Gen.G to use defensively here. You're going to see a fair amount of spawn trapping potentially. If they use those streaks correctly, that is, of course. And I believe there's a lightning, and a hellstorm so far with potential for more. I know the players streaking too. E6 have just been demolished first 2 rounds. Can they try and bounce back? Well, you're fighting a very big uphill battle here, considering all the extra utility Gen.G do have at their disposal. I mean, there's the lightning. 125 away is Envoy. You have Mox fully streaked out. So yeah, this isn't going to be easy by any means.
So I say you don't even really have to call them in because of how badly you're beating them, just gun on gun. But it doesn't hurt to have a Hellstorm. And of course, well, if you start the round off getting a triple kill, makes things a lot easier for you. You get the information as well, and well, you are just getting spawn killed right off the rip. Granted, they take Naga down, but you got more with them. Hellstorm number 2 might be able to take down a couple players. Do you team kill? No. Do you get 4 men down? Yes. And now Havoc just staying alive. This is just time being burned.
I told you, this is exactly what you're going to see. A ton of spawn trapping off the rip. Yes, it helps when you get the first couple of kills, but now it's absolute tragic for E6. You are pinned at the back. War Machine is out. Kills left and right. You can't win a gunfight. I want to point out, we're probably, what, a minute maybe max into this round, and already look at the kill count, 27-13. E6 have barely seen any of the map outside of their spawn. Flak does come out. Finally, they get some kills, but I mean, that's just, that's a hell of an uphill battle now if it wasn't already, Chance.
And this is the biggest problem with being a team that struggles in hardpoint. Like the 2-3-5 is definitely possible, but if you fall on even a single map, it just makes things so much rougher for you because, well, obviously it forces you to win a hardpoint. So E6 down but not out. They're down by 10 lives, and Chino is creeping up on some streaks of as well. And Gen.G have burned everything.
And here's
there's
the
hope.
interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing, right? With control, they could theoretically win this. Let's say Chino gets streaks, and they stack the hill and they cap quickly. There's no other streaks for Gen.G. If you get a clean 5 dead, there's still a chance. Admittedly, a very low one, but those streaks for Chino are going to be massive just to try and help spawn kill. And he's not going to get them. Kills being traded left and right. E6 are in the hill, but they have to worry about their flank. They have to worry about the original Gen.G spawn. Tempest is out. Stun comes through. Down to your final 5 lives. And that's surely a small slither of an opportunity that they had. Slammed in their faces. 15-5. No ticks of progression in towards B. 26 hanging on for dear life, it seems, as they go for one more push. 3v12.
Well, this is all but over. I think it might be worth in a situation where you earn 6 streaks for a single round, maybe to save one for emergency situations. But at the bright side, you go up by 10 lives off the rip and things are looking incredibly easy for you. You do not have much fear. Gen.G up 2-1 in the series. And well, you don't have to get the Gen.G special because they actually won the first hard point. Yeah. Fairly convincingly as well. I think you had Frosty and Diabolic a combined 9 and 43 in that ballpark. So obviously not 9 and 43, 19 and 43. Sorry, that was much worse than I made it sound, or it's a lot better than I made it sound. But either way, you haven't won a single hard point, I think, in this entire week. Now you have to win a hard point just to force that game number 5.
If it's happen now, though, wouldn't it?
It would be crazy.
Final game of the week. Just gonna force that game 5. And there's the time to do it. It would be now. Here's the last round, which, to be honest, the important part was about a minute before this, because it was just all the streaks being used, all of the spawn kills. There was a small chance right here, where you thought, well, maybe if stuff goes right, maybe if E6 gets streaks, they bring themselves back, but just not the case.
And I think the key guy right here is Havoc. Like, his entire team dies behind him, but he doesn't panic, he doesn't get concerned. He makes sure to focus on maybe not getting the spawn kill like true, but killing the guys coming off spawn to slow them down. So even if your teammates only get 1 or 2 kills, then you can be there to flank. But if Havoc panics a little bit, turns to help out his teammates after they died and get shot in the back, then more of a potential for E6 to make the wild clutch. But again, just great decision making all around. You're getting the kills left and right. And then, hey, 12v3. How could we possibly lose this? Oh, we can't. Mox picks up 2, and then it's all but over. But this round, again, as you pointed out, was done 30 seconds in.
Yeah, it was brutal. As soon as you get the triple with the Hellstorm, players fly forward, more streaks come through, more spawn trapping, more specialists. Basically an impossible one for Gen.G to lose, and they find themselves 2-1 up now. And to your point, won't necessarily be the traditional Gen.G special, but still potential for a 3-1, which is a scoreline Gen.G fans will be extremely used to by now. You've seen them win so many series. 3-1 for E6, not win a hard point all week. You want to close out your week with some style and a little bit of pizzazz, well, this is the time to do it, right here, game 4.
And I will say the thing to be hopeful for E6 is you're going on a seaside, which I don't think Gen.G, it's not their like best map preferred. I think they played against Denial, ended up losing by about 80 points, 250 to 170, something in that ballpark. So they're not perfect on it, as good as they have been. So if you want to try to combine any way to contort a hopeful situation for E6, if you want to try and be optimistic, that would be it. It is not a map where Gen.G has been running teams over, but it's also not a map I would be optimistic about.
Well, here's a look at the rest of the maps. And by rest, I mean the final 2. Seaside Hardpoint, Gridlock, Search. Can E6 do it? Can they force the game 5? It give them a lot of confidence just to even win a Hardpoint, you feel, knowing that London is getting close. 3 more weeks and we'll be heading overseas for what is going to be a fantastic major, I'm sure. 3-6 starts here. Forget the last 3 maps, not relevant. Now need to win 4 and 5. We know how crazy Seaside Hardpoint can be. And on the flip side for Gen.G, just close it out here, keep it simple.
And just to think, super long term for E6. Okay. You don't want to go back to the drawing boards and focus so much on Hardpoint and maybe get good at it to the detriment of your other game modes, because we've seen teams do that at times where they take their worst game mode, make it their best, but then their other game modes fall off. But of course, 3 weeks of preparation, you have all the time in the world to get better at everything. So I'm just, thinking well in advance.
No, you're absolutely right.
It happens. It does happen.
I've seen that a lot in competitive Call of Duty esports throughout the years. Teams with terrible game modes go out, they practice that super hard, and they let other game modes slip. Nothing which is alien, as Monk's actually killed by a trophy system. I can relate heavily to that one. 25-0, the early lead though for E6. 19 seconds left on the hill. And it's looking good, but keep your eye on the rotation. That's the important thing to pay attention to. Kismet with a good spawns, great start for E6.
Best case scenario right now, you get the swarming guy. You know all the pressure is going to be coming in through barrels. The bad news is you don't have any pressure towards it. A couple guys electing to rat back through spawn, so Chino is in hill by himself for the moment. The hill does pop, and not a lot of pressure being put on the hill from E6 to watch it. That means a couple players for Gen.G get through. They get a couple kills, though, so, well, Gen.G have to reboot and try again.
E6 making things a little difficult for themselves, but player in hill close to streaks, never mind. Player in hill falls, and E6 still survive. Gen.G with just 2 points. Finally, Major Maniac gets inside, but again, you think back to game 1, it was a slow start for Gen.G before they heated up. And really took over the respawn. Major Maniac just running through barrels himself. Mox has gone all the way deep to the back of the map. He's completely isolated. His teammates still in the hill. Now, the spawns here are going to be really, really interesting. Those kills in transitions. No one from E6 has actually checked the back, so as soon as one of them dies, they're going to know, well, hold on a second. There is going to be some pressure there. They haven't actually checked it themselves, so a little sloppy, but they're going to find out the hard way by spawning way, way out. But with Nagafen getting 2, Mox can make his play from the back, tries to get a couple of kills, unsuccessfully for now. E6 holding on from the front.
And that is just perfectly done by Mox. He doesn't take a gunfight. He hides. He's letting his teammates try to get the kill. So, like, his first primary job was to block spawns rather than to get them. But the grapple coming around back.
That was sick.
Finally, we've seen that play work. We saw that a ton at Fort Worth, and just teams never made use of it. I know LG tried that endlessly.
Yeah, so many times.
Happen, but you see E6 able to pull it off there. Unfortunately, they haven't pulled off the part where you get inside the hill, because that kill feed, that is a lot of yellow. Mox able to pick up 2, make it number 3. It was a nice play to get those spawns, Ben.
Yeah.
It was not a nice play to get the hill.
Now, spawns are one thing. We still got to win the fights in the hill, right? This game tied up, so all of E6 hard work from P1 and P2 gone, nullified, does not matter anymore. With 13 seconds of scrap, that's going to go for them. And honestly, if you're E6, you're a little worried here, because everything's spiraling out of control. You're still spawning over towards the first hill. You have no control over barrels. And Gen.G, I mean, they're shooting like that. This could get scary.
I want to say this game started out fairly close to 61-0.
It was, yes.
Okay, and well, since then, Gen.G has been doing Gen.G things, I suppose, on hardpoint. A lot of players for E6 trying to force it through the back end of the hill. Mox, though, knows the pressure's coming, so he's going to get stunned, actually. That might make things difficult, but it's just a full front smash to the hill for E6. All the bodies inside. You're stacking up. You're getting punched in the face. Another player on the right side, and Mox not even stressed out. Just kind of hanging out, slide every now and again. He's got the teammate support. So you don't have to be cracked out if your teammates are killing everything.
And this is about to be, what, 20 seconds of scrap on P2, which they had to fight for. Full 60 on Fountain, full 60 on Barrels. This is spiraling out of control. The saving grace here is no streaks.
Not a full 60. They contested for like 4 seconds.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. 56 seconds.
There you go. So not a great turn of events. And, of course, Mox maybe creeping up on some streaks. Of course, the new hill is going to pop in E6. They got the full setup that they want. All the pressure's coming from one angle. You got players that are very happy about the kills they're getting, Ben.
They should, because they've been spawning here for the past 3 hills. So it's about time they get some form of lockdown on this hill. And look at that. Gen.G, walk straight through.
It is broken. 3 kills from Major Maniac. Give him the 3rd, or at least the EKIA for it. That was the setup E6 wanted, which they were able to put 11 points on the board. And Gen.G responded in kind by getting 11 points, plus more, plus all the kills. Major Maniac on a 4 spree. Everyone's positive. No one has to do much, or excuse me, Nagafen not having the best of games at 10 and 11 because there's nothing for him to do.
I mean, we're almost an entire rotation through, and E6 have got 11 points after their early first and second hill hold. That is it. As we're 9 seconds away from rotating back over towards P2. Guess who has no control over the second hill? Well, you'd be right. E6, 1 player in dark, waiting for teammates to come through barrels, but Gen.G's rotating. Gen.G earns streaks. And the gunfights, all traded for now. General finally with a double, but boy, he's not done just yet. There's 2 for him, looking for 3. Gen.G hold. And Enigma6's hardpoint woes continue.
Benson, this is strange.
I've not felt this in some time.
I don't know what to do with myself. What do we do with all this extra time we have in the day?
I don't know. It's going to be weird. The desk, they're probably not ready yet.
I'm just saying, like, we're casting and it's not a game 5. Like, I don't know.
Q Seaside hardpoint.
Yeah.
Epic comeback from E6, down over 100 points, facing 3 streaks. If you're going to do it, you got to be careful here with how you play this rotation, because that's the benefit Gen.G have now. They can rotate late because they have so much utility to break. And if you can control the checkers, well, that really should be another mass amount of time over towards the Fountain side. Frosty's going to try his best, but surely the streaks are going to come through. It's just a matter of time before Gen.G get into the optimal position. There it is, the first Hellstorm. What is that going to connect with? One of it is Frosty. 4 of the players go down. E6 lose the spawns. Tempest is out for General, but unless you're going to 6-piece them, because that's what it's going to take, you have to kill at least 1 player twice in quick succession, which isn't going to be the case. this game, Chance, it is over.
Yes, it is. 223.85, just waiting for the final daggers to come through, which could be in the form of a specialist like the Grab Slam, could be in the form of a lightning strike perhaps, or maybe just everyone for Gen.G killing the opponent. Another 5 down. Was it clean? Well, effectively, yes, because you get the closer spawn. Kismet trying to do some damage, but not even getting time off the clock. 20 seconds in Gen.G, the game will be theirs. And it's just a matter of time.
So this is what it feels like.
If there was a surrender button in Call of Duty, E6 would have hit it by now.
It would have hit it probably the end of the first rotation and how it ended. It was bad. Grab Slam used. Grab Slam used. Kismet will find 2, one of his own teammates. Now it's a matter of at least save a little bit of honor. Don't get a 100-point clubbed, which E6 will avoid. But their hardpoint woes again. They have been bad. They have been very, very bad. It's a game mode that I'm sure the coach is going to have to go back all the way to the drawing board. Might even have to buy a new drawing board with how bad it's been, to be honest, throughout this week. But something has to change. Something has to be fixed, because playing like this, when you can't consistently win your 2, 3, and 5s, it's just not going to work.
It was 61-0 off the rip in favor of E6. They've been able to put up more than 60 points on the board since then. The unfortunate thing for them is Gen.G has been able to throw up 238. E6 doing a very nice job utilizing some specialists to hold on to the Barrels Hill. The problem is, well, you're out of specialists. You don't have streaks. You're being vision pulsed as well, and you have to rotate to new. It's not going to make things easy. Once again, Havoc, focus on killing the guys trying to approach the hill instead of letting his teammates get the back, And again, I think that's the absolute right call. Major Maniac on his second War Machine is effectively going to kill Trade. He got lightning strikes. It just needs to be over, and it looks like E6 finally spawning far enough away. The final ticks come in, and Gen.G with the clean 3-1 to secure first place in their division.
Not the Gen.G special we're used to, but they finally put E6 out their misery in the game 4, and they take the series 3-1, dominating Seaside Hardpoint. I mean, that was extremely well played outside of the first and second hill. Realistically, E6 did nothing.
And I think to make things interesting about the division standings, I think E6 is now 3-8, and if Denial wins their match, then I think they're at 3-8, and there's a 3-way tie. I think E6 is really good in terms of map count, so I think tiebreakers might still go their way, but they do have the potential where they would just end up being essentially tied for last place. Not a great spot to be in, and again, this is the team that just placed top 6 at Fort Worth.
Yeah, very, very strange, and we'll see how things are going to react over the next couple of 3 weeks. And maybe some changes coming through to the playstyle for London. We'll wait and see. But one thing's for sure. When your hardpoint is as bad as it's been here, that will not fly at another major. Top 6 doesn't matter. This week has not gone well for Enigma6. On the flip side for Gen.G, things have gone well. That's it for the first game of the series. We'll be back after this with the post-game analysis.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
welcome back. And you did just see Gen.G take down Enigma6 3-1 there, but not going exactly according to plan. Of course, E6 handing Gen.G their very first S&D loss so far. And what did you think of that? How were E6 able to upset them on that map?
Well, first I will say their first S&D loss in the Pro League. They obviously lost a lot of search at Fort Worth, and you know the last iteration of Gen.G was an incredible search and destroy team. But they have had their ups and downs in that game mode with this new roster, and E6 did a very good job. It started with Kismet winning that 1v1 versus Havoc, where it was weird. Like Havoc just wrapped the whole, like pinged his lightning strike, wasted it, and like wrapped the whole map. And Kismet was able to pick up streaks as well, and he ends up killing two of his teammates with his Hellstorm, but they still win the round. Chino gets a crazy 1v1 win. So, you know, just overall, it's just well played by Enigma6, and you know, Gen.G still kind of inconsistent in this game mode.
It's weird. I don't mind him pinging in lightning. I mind that he pinged lightning like 25 seconds later.
And then he goes in the vent. Which
well, he saw Kismet was on this side, so I think he just thought Kismet was gonna wrap vent. Kiz did wrap, but he wrapped middle, so it just looked really awkward. I don't know. But after that, E6 wins 6 straight rounds. And then that was pretty much the only good thing we can say for E6 for that series.
When I was watching this 1v1, you know, between Havoc and Kismet, I just think about how much of like S&D they have played together. Like these are two guys that came from the S&D community, just always running it up in every single tournament. And then the fact that it comes to a 1v1, you know how your best friend, one of your best friends, is probably gonna play. So Kismet just outplayed him, and it's just as simple as that.
Which is also why I think he pinged the lightning. He's like, I gotta beat this 1v1, because they've played so many search tournaments together, and they kind of, you know, came up in the scene together when it comes to search and destroy. Both fantastic search players in their own right.
We saw this round where Havoc just decided to use his lightning. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pick up a single kill. And Enigma6 was just able to pull this out. You see General hitting the late flank. Just dominant round on them. I don't understand. Obviously, he uses the ping in the 1v1 versus Kismet.
This
definitely
was
throws you off.
mind-blowing. That missile just strayed all the way to the left, kills 2 of his teammates, and you kind of see the reaction right there. But they're able to recover and still win this round, losing to their teammates early on like that. And Chino just backs up. I think Envoy goes for the beatdown, and he wins that round, which is a huge round for the remainder of this game. And they're able to run away with it. It was all from that 1v1.
Enigma6 are just so inconsistent throughout the series. Like we saw Frosty first map, he was 7-24.
And Diabolic.
And Diabolic just had an abysmal series when it came to the respawns. Like one thing, they were 8-1 in control. 8-1. So when we were talking about it earlier, we was like, all right, if they start with the game 2, they should go on and win game 3. They are 8-1 in that, and they just got absolutely steamrolled on this map.
Yeah, and look at that. Like Major Maniac, Envoy, and Mox just outslaying the hell out of them. Like there's just no answers. Get map control, and they just destroy them. Like E6, their struggles are continuing in respawn. It's just their pacing's off. Diabolic's 4-15 at this point. Kismet as well, not having a good map. Like even on that map 1, it was close in the beginning, right? It was like 110 to 110, something like that. And there's players on E6 that were like triple negative. You're not gonna finish. You're not gonna win the map like that, and you know, that's what happens.
For me, it's just now they get to go home and take this time and work on their pacing, because they're not bad at all respawns. They're good at control. This game, they got destroyed.
Yep.
That was a one-off. Their hardpoint's just so bad because their pacing's off, and it's making the individual players look worse than they are because their teamwork's so off. Obviously, if your teamwork's not good in this game, we've already seen in the past, like with the 100 Thieves. When their teamwork wasn't good, we thought a bunch of those players looked average. They got priests to improve their teamwork, and all of a sudden, all these guys were like, wow, these are top players in the game again. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem I'm seeing with E6. Their teamwork's not good. So individually, they're having off series. Diabolic, Frosty. These guys aren't working together well.
I wonder then, going into London Pack, how do you? Are there any like best practices kind of on like starting to work on something like teamwork?
I mean, it's gonna be something like Ant talked about yesterday, where you have to just go over certain routines in your practice and go and set rules for your team.
Right.
So, on this hill, we're going to do this every single time regardless.
Stick to it.
Instead of scrimming to win, you scrim to get better, and that's what they're going to have to do. They have a long time.
Rules.
Yeah.
You just have to make rules. Like have a rule for every single hardpoint, every single hill, and just try to, you know, practice those as much as you can, even when you're down in a map. Just practice that, and don't scramble for the win in scrims. Just try to practice and get better, and that's what they're going to have to do.
All right, let's bring up our schedule, moving things